people look at numbers and I'm looking at my life and what's happening. Yeah. By the time we sold, I was just like so ready. It's obviously hard to leave the business, but people would be like, do you miss it? And I was like, no, like 0% missing it. Even though it was incredible, fully ready to be done. It's like getting to the end of a marathon and someone's like, do you want to keep running? And you're like, I think I'm good. Like, I think I'll stop.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unstoppable Marketer Podcast. With me, as always, is Mr. Marcus Goldhart.
Hey.
Junior. Just kidding.
Just no junior.
Just Mark Goldhart. How are you?
Yeah, don't know why you threw on a junior, but...
Just throwing you off a little bit there for a second. Getting a
my
little
oldest
crazy.
brother's a junior.
Really?
I'm not.
Is he your dad? Like, is it named after your dad? Nice.
Junior.
Nice.
I'm great. Got all my camping stuff ready. We're going to go hunt for some geodes on Friday.
Oh, nice. Are you going to that one place?
Yeah, we are.
You guys
with
like
my
that
little
place?
boys. We got
That's super smart.
picks and the axes and we have some dwarf songs to sing from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, because you just read it to him.
Yeah.
Man,
They're excited.
what an event.
I got to get them some goggles just in case, But
Safety glasses.
yeah.
Well, I'm excited for our episode today.
Me too.
We got a fun guest. I'm actually way excited to have her on. So, should we introduce her?
Let's do it.
I'll introduce. I always introduce.
You do. You do a good job.
I guess I'll do it again. So, I want to introduce, if you're watching, you've seen her. If you're listening, you don't. But anyways, I want to introduce our guest. Her name is Mallory Stevens. She is the co-founder of Taft, which they have recently-ish sold.
2022.
Yeah, a couple years ago. And now the founder and CEO of a brand new CPG company brand called Tuff Pops.
Yes.
Welcome, Mallory. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm so good. I have to know about the geodes, though. Where do you go?
Oh, the geodes are in Dugway.
Okay. Is it near Delta?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. Yes and no.
Kind of.
If you take the back roads from Delta
yeah.
up to the West Desert,
You go to the.
do you know where like
Dugway.
the fish? It's the Bird National Refuge, like the fish
Yeah.
and Bird National Refuge areas.
Uh-huh.
You do?
My mom is from Delta, so this is like
Her neck of the woods.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So if you know how to get
She's
to
there
that,
every week for Sunday dinner.
if you know how to get to that refuge, the Dugway geode is
Yeah.
like a little northeast from there.
I grew up hearing about the Dugway. Like the old people would talk about, like, oh, he's
interesting.
out at the Dugway this weekend, and I'm like, what is?
I love
the
that it's
Dugway?
the Dugway.
Well,
In
Dugway.
Delta.
Do you know what Dugway proving grounds are?
No.
Do you know that Utah has some of the highest UFO reportings of any state?
I know that because you have told me that.
Okay. It's because Dugway Proving Grounds is a military base where people theorize
Think that
that they use experimental aircraft out there.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot of camping, and we do
Yeah.
camping in the West Desert a lot, and I have seen, like, remember
Seen
when
things?
everyone was freaking out about the drones in New Jersey?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I saw those things
years ago.
like 2 years ago
Yeah.
in the desert. I'm not even kidding. Like the exact, like, very strange flight patterns in the night.
And you
It's
just
fun.
didn't think anything of it.
Oh, it's obviously like some kind of military thing going on.
Yeah. No, that's what I would say.
So it's fun. But anyways, the geodes are there.
Yeah.
So if your mom's from Delta, then you know about the trilobite dig.
Yes. Yeah. That was what. So 4th of July every year is Delta. And this is a hot topic in Utah because
Please.
there's a lot of strong feelings about where is the best place to celebrate the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Delta.
It is.
Like-
Delta's fun.
It actually is. Like crop duster flyover, library throwing books in the parade, like just wild
I
stuff.
just never even heard of this.
It's the best. So we
Small
go
small
every
towns are
year.
the best place to be on the 4th.
But there's a rock shop where they sell geodes and trilobites. I mean, we did the trilobite hunting when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and it's the best.
Not at the Dugway.
Not at the Dugway, at You Dig.
The Dugway, yeah. Well, no, you're getting them mixed up, Trevor. It's Dugway geode.
Dugway
dig.
geodes, and then there's the trilobites.
The trilobite
fossils.
digs at the U dig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Delta. A little further out towards
Okay.
what's the national park out there with the
Oh,
cave? You've been to
It's
the big
Crystal
cave.
Caves, Crystal Ball Caves.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool. But anyway.
Or
I
in
can't.
Kemmerer,
One-
Wyoming, there's also another fossil dig.
Yeah.
We're going there this year,
So cool.
and then we're gonna do U dig again.
Jude would think it's awesome. My girls wouldn't.
Oh, Roma would.
Maybe.
No, Roma would love it.
The hammer and
Jude
chisel.
was
It doesn't
digging
matter,
out.
boy. I mean, look, boys do have a little like obsession with rocks. Like, do you
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
We have 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Boys,
So-
girls?
3 boys, 1 girl.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's
3 and then the girl?
no 1, then our daughter, another boy, and then our 4th passed away, but little boy.
Right, yeah.
Little boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got
we get the rock obsession.
yes,
for
the
sure.
the boys have a rock obsession, but girls,
They can get into it.
I mean, they might not be into it for as long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like Easter egg hunting, except you find a fossil.
I guess you're
Yeah.
right.
like you just like crack these things open. It's like, oh,
Like this is millions
She'd
of
probably
years
be
old.
you win.
She'd probably be stoked once we were there. I
Yeah.
don't think she'd be excited if we told her what we were doing.
Yeah. It's a surprise.
But once we got
No,
there, I
she
think she'd be
would
pumped.
because you will see wild horses on the way there.
Fair.
Okay.
Big into wild horses.
Maybe. I don't know.
take
She
it.
might be into horses.
What little girl doesn't love horses?
I don't know if my
They're
little girl does.
majestic, majestical.
I'm assuming.
Horses.
I was assuming you knew something I didn't.
I don't
like
love
that
horses.
She's super into horses.
No, just like little girls, like you see horses and like who
Horses freak me out.
really?
Like, oh yeah, it's weird.
Like can you ride one?
I would never ride a horse.
Never?
I will never ride a horse. I don't even like to get near a
That's
horse.
a hot take.
What?
Yeah. I think they're beautiful creatures from a distance.
You would
But
never ride a horse?
I would never get on a horse. And it makes me sad because the cowboy life sounds awesome to me. I go herd cattle
Horses are cool.
every Thanksgiving in like outer Colorado City because my grandfather-in-law owns
This
a
is
bunch of
southern
land.
Utah desert.
Very cool.
And they all take horses and I take a four-wheeler.
I have done 1 cattle drive on horseback, and
That's rough because sometimes you're out there for like 8 hours.
it was long.
Yeah, like you
it
can be
was-
out there for a
it was
long time.
It's
We're
cool
trying to
though,
find them.
right?
It was very cool. We were staying at a ranch, and it was kind of expected that
Yeah.
you pull your weight.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, "Hey, you know how to ride a horse?" And I was like, "I mean, not well."
Yeah.
They're like, "But you've like ridden a horse." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I've ridden
Yeah.
a horse." And so then they're like, "All right, got to move the cows up to the upper pasture." I was like, "Okay." So they watched our kids.
Horses can have attitudes.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the
So
thing.
like
though.
there's some workhorses out there that like are a little tooty.
Yeah. My horse was the like beloved family horse, and I rode it the whole time, and everything's fine. And then we get to the end, and it just lays down and rolls over. And I jumped off its back.
Oh, luckily.
But I was like,
Like it was just like I'm done.
"This is, yeah,
I think if there was, if I was up in Montana and there was a group of Yellowstone-esque cowboys that were like, "Hey, you got to get on a horse," I would do it for them.
you do pressure."
You'd feel
to it.
like obligated.
Yeah,
This was that moment
but
for us.
I don't know if I would.
Or else your man card would get taken away.
Yeah.
Or something like.
And I'm sure it'd be a growth moment for me. But
Oh, but anyways.
yeah. Anyways,
Mallory
Mallory. So okay, so let's give us
You're-
a little history.
of the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's like big time entrepreneur journey. So you guys started Taft. What year did you start Taft?
2014. I mean, we graduated in 2013
Yeah.
from college, and we started working on it then.
That's
Launched in
right.
2014. I was
Very-
pregnant. We had no job prospects.
Can I tell you my favorite
Yeah.
story about the beginning of Taft is
Yes.
it started as socks. Mm-hmm. And then something happened where like people were getting a little creepy with the feet.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Weird
Oh,
pictures.
yeah.
Weird pictures. Like
Yes.
we were getting, yeah. We posted pictures of like, I
Corey's
mean, we were selling
feet or
no-show
something.
socks.
Yeah.
That's what Taft started as.
Yeah.
And we posted some pictures of the product being worn, and we were like getting feet pictures from people, and we're like, oh, hard pass. Like this isn't
Like the
gonna work.
original OnlyFans.
It was
weird.
It was so bad. And so we were like, maybe we
Like, what
just
have we
show
done?
people in shoes with like the sockless look, right?
Right,
And
yeah.
that's kind of what changed everything, because eventually everyone thought we were a shoe company.
Yeah.
And we just became one.
Yeah.
Incredible.
We had her husband Corey on, who was also a co-founder of Taft.
So if it wasn't for the creeps,
Probably
you
2
know,
years ago.
maybe you guys never
What
would have
would
made
have happened?
shoes.
it might have been like the month you guys sold, we had Corey on. I
Oh,
think.
really?
It had to have been
Yeah.
within 30 to 45
Yeah.
days, I would imagine.
Wild.
But fun fact, we don't need to jump into the whole journey of it, but like the fun fact was like, I bought no-show socks in 2014 or 2015, I believe.
Yeah,
like
no way.
In fact, and you guys did like a big warehouse sale out
Yes.
in Bluffdale,
We did.
and I remember going to it, and I bought probably like $200 worth of socks
No
that
way.
that was really more like $700 worth of
Yes.
socks because of the deal I
was-
got. Because
yeah.
you guys, I think, were just at that time. You guys had
Moving on to
yeah.
shoes, probably.
And so I actually, when I interviewed Corey, I still had brand new pairs that I had never
Oh
used.
my gosh, no
That
way.
were just like in my, and now I
Just,
don't
like, frame
anymore because I
them, you know?
never
I don't know.
do
What do you-
no show socks anymore. But yeah,
Yes.
So
Yeah, the no-show socks kind of faded.
that look is a little.
Yeah.
It's. Yeah, you want longer socks now, or else you'll be made fun of.
That's true.
You're a millennial.
So you guys sold Taft, and then you've kind of been in a state of limbo, maybe? Like, just
Yeah.
kind of like, what are you guys going to do next?
Yes, we sold Taft in 2022, which was just like super wild. Our son passed away the same summer.
Yeah.
So it was just all super intertwined. And so I feel like people would be like, oh my gosh, you're so excited. This is a big deal. And we were just like, this isn't the last thing on our minds. Like, we're just grieving,
Totally.
living life, not concerned about business at all in that moment. And
But also probably a good time to have gotten rid of it.
For sure. I mean, it was hard. Taft was really hard.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and it was kind of thrilling. Like, we kind of got in that perfect, you guys know, sweet spot of we started on Instagram at the perfect time. Like,
Yeah.
it was just, you posted anything
And made money.
and someone would repost it and someone else would, it was just easy on Instagram.
Yeah,
People would be
totally.
like, man, tell me about startup life. And we were like, it was not hard.
This is the easiest thing I've ever done.
This was awesome, right? I mean, when we were in school, we made $12,000 a year. That was our salary combined. And so then Taft would pay us $50,000. And we were like, whoa, look out. This is the best thing ever. And so we were young. It didn't have to do
It's
much
like
to be awesome.
$300,000 in today's
Oh my
dollar,
gosh.
just for inflation. $50,000 a year in 2016, man.
Back in my
get
days.
out of here. It was our rent was $600 a month, right? Like, we just it didn't feel, it felt scrappy because we had no hires and we were every position. We were photographer, model, everything. But Instagram was a much easier place to be then. And so we just grew quickly. But as we went on, it just gets tougher and tougher.
Totally.
It was really hard on Corey mentally. He's been very outspoken about his depression, but just tough to run a business, tough to have. We had just opened stores and then COVID hits. We opened our New York store in November 2019, which is just just comical timing, you know? So we had this whole team in Soho that we were just just stay on, don't go to work. Obviously you can't, but we'll, pay you to watch
Figure it
Netflix,
out,
do whatever you can. And so it got tough to run it. And then by the end,
For you, was it stressful? Because you played more of a behind the scenes role.
totally.
So was it stressful? I mean, because Corey, your husband, who was also kind of the more of the face of the
he
brand.
was totally the face of the brand.
But was it stressful, kind of not being able to do certain things? You were kind of behind the scenes, but couldn't go places.
I feel like it
During
wasn't
COVID
stressful to
especially.
be behind the scenes, except that I'm such a feminist that when people would be like, "You're the wife," I was like, I'm the wife. So nice to meet you, But I was kind of and Corey would be like, "Oh, she's my co-founder. We do this together." This is. But you get kind of tired of doing that, so eventually you're just like, "Yeah, I'm the wife. Sure, nice to meet you." You get tired of giving the spiel. I feel like the biggest stressor for me was I could just see Corey's mental health tanking.
Yeah.
And, I had this moment, which our investors were incredible, but I had this moment that was pretty pivotal for me with Taft where Corey, I was gonna hospitalize him and I'm calling around and I'm like, we need to sell Taft. This is too much. I'm just seeing this through the lens of watching my husband try and manage this and I'm trying to help him manage it. Right.
Yeah.
And
the stress of kids and
everything. And so I called one of our investors and I was like, I think we need to consider selling. This is probably, I guess we had just raised, I don't know, a year before. And he's just like, well, we just raised money. And it had felt like everyone was on our team, but I had this moment, and to be clear, great investors, but not the most human moment for them, where I was kind of calling desperate and it was it would be a disaster to sell right now. We just raised money. And I was like, my husband is I'm taking him to the hospital. So I don't care if it's a disaster, But it was this moment, and we didn't end up selling at that moment, but it was this time for me where I realized we're kind of on our own. If we're going to do what's best for our health, no one's going to do that for us. We have to make this work for ourselves. And so eventually when we sold, that was kind of in the back of my mind where it's no one's going to tell us when it's the right time. No one's going to really, people look at numbers and I'm looking at my life and what's happening. Yeah. And so by the time we sold, I was just so ready. Thought it was just the best thing ever. And it's obviously hard to leave the business, but people would be like, do you miss it? And I was like, no, like 0% missing it. Just fully.
That's awesome though.
Fully ready to be done. Even though it was incredible.
Sure.
Fully ready to be done. It's like getting to the end of a marathon and someone's like, do you want to keep running? And you're like, I think I'm good. Like, I think I'll stop.
That's a really good analogy.
It's like, you want to run another marathon?
Like, but wasn't that thrilling? Like, you want to start one now?
No, that was awesome, but I don't want to.
But we crossed the finish line, and I'm so happy we did.
Yeah.
And so it was, I guess, it's been 2 years. So we sold in like August of 2022, and then April of 2023. I was sitting in our mudroom, and I just out of nowhere was like, I wonder if anyone's doing protein popsicles. Like, texted Corey, was like, hey, I have a really good idea. I don't dare look it up because someone's probably doing it.
Sure.
And so he's like, man, this is a really good idea. And we start Googling it, and it's just mom bloggers giving their own recipes of what they do for their kids, but there's nothing. And so I just get super fired up about this because to me, nutrition matters a lot more to me than shoes, right? Sure. Like, this is a lot more in my wheelhouse.
Totally.
And so we just kind of like switched to Tuff Pops. Corey had another job at this point. I'm doing interior design, but I'm like, I can leave that. I can do this. And we just get cranking, like find some great food scientists because we tried. Sure. We tried. Like, it was like.
Because you guys are both very handy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're like, how hard can it be? Right? Yeah. Like, take some Greek yogurt, mix in some stuff. Like, it was not, it was bad. Like, inedible, chalky, horrible. We're like, there's a reason food scientists like
exist,
do what they do. So found an incredible team of food scientists, and then they get cranking on Tuff Pops. So,
wild.
And then now, that was 2 years ago, and just now is when we're like ready to roll.
About it.
Yeah.
Tell us where you are at in the journey.
Okay, so samples took a long time. Like, the first ones were inedible to the point that we were like, is this a bad idea? Like, this,
is it even possible to make?
Like, is it even? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was. I got a grant. Like, I got a grant from, like, I say it's Big Dairy. I got a grant from Big Dairy because they want people to make stuff with milk.
Sure.
And so I get a grant to cover the food science, like 50% of this, right?
Nice.
So we're like, even if this isn't going to work, let's just see it through. We're not in it too deep, right?
Thanks, Big Dairy.
Thanks, Big Dairy.
Serious.
Yeah, it was wild.
I'm a big dairy fan, so.
But
I'm all about Big Dairy.
We get to the point where by the time we finish the recipes, they send them to our house. They're sending them in pints. And we get on a Zoom call, and I start crying because I'm just like, these are so good. They don't taste like they have any protein in them. It just tastes like really good ice cream, which is what I had requested. And then kind of just begins the hard work of, like, you feel like you've crossed this huge finish line.
But then there's patents.
Well, no, there's no patents. It's just, it's so hard to produce. Okay, I have to get one thing clear. Popsicles is trademarked by Unilever. I'm saying popsicles because people know what a popsicle is. Protein pops,
it's like,
I don't know.
Band-Aid.
Sorry to Unilever, but it's just
creamies.
Really, it's just
trademarked.
It's hard to make. It's hard to make this product, right? Like, that's the realization we've come to. Nobody has line time. Before the food scientists would even work with us at all, they're like, look, do you have someone who can make these? Because there's a chance just no one will. And so I actually have a call with the Creamies guy.
Nice.
And
they're in Utah.
Yeah, they're in Utah. Yeah. I'm like, will you make them for us? And he's like, no, we don't make for anybody, but there's this one place that might.
Oh, amazing.
So we get hooked up with them. They're willing to make them, but it's just, CPG is so hard. And, like, we knew that, and everybody warns you, but you're kind of like, yeah, but we can do this. And we can, but holy smokes, not D2C at all, which is what we loved about it, right? Like, it's different. But frozen, everyone was like, frozen's hard, CPG's hard, grocery's hard.
Yeah. And
I think our approach to it has been to plan to be the exception.
Yeah.
Like,
now, is frozen hard just because, when you're talking about logistics?
Yes.
Is it hard because to get onto, like, a frozen truck, like, oftentimes, like, those shipping lanes are already owned by, like, just creamies, like has their own.
I mean,
or
it's
like,
a combination of everything. One of the big ones
like you
being
can't just throw it all in like a pallet
Yeah.
and like bring it over from China, right? Like,
yeah. And when you think of a whole grocery store, I mean, for one, you can't ship, right? So we have these different calls and people are like, you can restock yourself. And we're like, we're going to ship it. So you're trucking everything, right? So like where you could ship other things, we can't ship to stock anything. But also you think of a grocery store and you've got that one section that's available for frozen as a whole, but also like you whittle that down to
the ice cream
the
section,
ice cream section and then to the popsicle section.
Totally,
And you're looking at like 2 doors that someone needs to say your product deserves to be in these 2 doors.
And also you don't get front facing space in grocery stores.
You get tipped on the
way
side. Like if you're new,
Just Ingredients is right now.
Yes,
like they can put that protein powder at the front of a Harmon's.
you can merchandise it, right?
Yeah,
like you can make it look beautiful. No, this is like someone's going to put you on a shelf.
Although I have noticed at Harmon's lately, they do have like those like rolling freezers.
Yes.
And like right now they have mochi is what it's called.
So
yes,
in
you're
that
right.
situation,
Yeah,
you're
I've seen
buying your own. Like Mochi is buying a freezer, saying, Harmon's, can we put it at the front of the store? Which is another, like a route you can take, but then I've just got to go buy a ton of freezers.
Right, okay.
And so you're investing in that and saying,
So
okay.
so actually they're the ones who buy
They're the
those.
ones who buy
and
it.
then they just are allowed to put them
They're
in
allowed
certain...
to put it at the front. They're like, hey, this is a good like point of sale.
So you're going
product.
retail
I have-
only, not direct to consumer.
No, and that's what's like scary. Like for a while we were like, is there any way to make any product that we could take direct consumer? Still thinking about that. But like having your legs cut out from under you in terms of like, this is what we know, this is what we've done.
Yeah.
We know how to market this, we know how to advertise this if we're shipping it. But if we're not shipping it and we can't even get it to you, all of a sudden this is like a completely different ballgame.
This episode of The Unstoppable Marketer is brought to you by BFF Creative. Let's be real, hiring designers and video editors can get super expensive, and that's why I'm excited about what BFF Creative has done. They've built a subscription design service that gives you the feel of an in-house creative team, but at a fraction of the cost, which I'm sure we all could use right now. From ad creatives to social media posts, video edits to full website designs, BFF gives you unlimited designs and unlimited requests starting at just $1,000 a month. The best part about this, their custom app makes it super easy to submit projects, give feedback, review work, and store all of your creative in one place. As a listener of the podcast, you get 25% off your first 2 months with code UNSTOPPABLE25. That means unlimited creative for as little as $750 a month. Go check them out right now at bffcreative.co.
So have you talked with people like at True Fruit or...
Yeah.
And
we've had conversations with
leaned in
anybody
on-
who will talk to us. And that's one of the great things about being a second-time founder is people will like take your call a
respect
little
you,
bit more readily. And so before it was like, we promise we got a lot of grit, please talk to us. But now it's like, okay, people give us a bit more of their time. And so we've talked to a ton of people. Everyone has great advice. But ultimately, you just have to like start and just hope you catch your lucky breaks and that your unit economics work out because you're kind of shooting in the dark a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which we did with Taft. We priced our shoes before we knew our cost. Like we just launched them on pre-order. We were like, they haven't gone back to us on cost. Like, should we just set them at $189? And it's like, sure, I guess. Like that sounds good. Which was too low. Yeah. So you correct, but it's just, and protein especially. Protein is so expensive. Like the powder itself that we use is just incredibly expensive. Yeah, it's a whey protein isolate and it's grass-fed.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of wiggle room on it, right? Yeah. Like, so on all of our other ingredients, as we scale, you get price breaks. I think like at max scale, we get $1 off. Yeah. Or like per pound, which is, we'll take it. But
for sure,
not a lot.
Well, there's no reason for them to give any because there's so much demand for whey isolate. Like,
absolutely.
Totally.
It's not even a question of like quantity.
Yeah.
And are you getting it here in Utah?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're ordering everything in.
Is.
But even that, like we're like, can we order? Like do you have stock? And they're like, yeah, we'll check. We'll let you know. Like we're just at everyone's mercy.
Sure.
And
well, if I may, I never
Please.
would have tried a mochi.
Yeah.
If I had not seen it.
Front of store.
In the front, like as I'm checking out.
That's one of my favorite things to do at Harmon's on the way out. Is I'm like, this is my perfect little.
So I'm not telling you to go buy a bunch of freezers and put them in Harmon's, but
I'm not opposed to it.
I never would have tried a mochi if it wasn't right there.
Yes.
Near the checkout.
Ready.
And we're like, I'm a big ice cream. Like I like ice cream.
Mochi's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine.
He never would have tried it
I think
though
it's
if it weren't
great.
in that freezer.
I'm not like, I don't know. I don't love like the rubbery texture
rice.
of
That's
the
what I
the
like
rice
about it.
thing. Yeah, that's the best
That's what I
part.
like about it.
like I don't love that on ice cream.
Not a mochi guy.
Well, like ice cream, whatever. It's just it's
feels
fine.
wrong.
The ice cream's okay. It's
Yeah.
not phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a little.
It's more of a frozen treat than ice cream. Seems like more of a frozen treat than a category of ice
I
cream.
mean, I think they call themselves like an ice cream sandwich, but
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah. So I mean, it's ice cream
Yeah,
with a weird layer.
I like it.
It's fine.
All right, moving
It's
on.
fine.
Yeah,
I take a creamy over that any day, though.
Creamies are tough.
I love a good banana creamy.
But you said you're into nutrition.
Yeah.
I think perhaps, if I may throw a stereotype out there, a lot of mothers become into nutrition
Yes.
as they like start feeding their kids,
Yeah.
and dads are usually kind of like dragged along.
It's like, I'm eating healthier now, I guess.
It's
Okay.
like, okay, like, I guess we have no more
We
gluten
don't
in
buy
our
cereal
house.
anymore, or what's happening?
Yeah, literally, that's how I am. I'm like, I guess we have no sugar. Like, where
Where are the treats?
where is sugar?
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
sugar now. But as you did that happen? Have you always been interested in nutrition? Was it like kind of
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm feeding my kids, and now I'm interested in my own nutrition, and it kind of
Yeah.
evolved?
I think it for sure happens with motherhood. Also with mental health, like just trying to
Sure.
anything that's in your control, you have to seize it because so much is out of your control. But I think you can get a little bit, I don't know, maniacal about it, like where you're like, we can't have this, we can't have that.
Sure.
So we've tried to just we cook at home. You know, I saw there was years ago, there was this guy that had a great cooking show, and I wish I knew his name, but he said, eat whatever you want, just cook it yourself.
I've
And
seen the
that's-
clip of this.
Yeah, and that's kind of the approach we take, right? Like we have cookies and brownies and bread, but we just make it ourselves. And
Yeah.
so that's an important piece of our lives. And I think for me, for Tuff Pops, the opportunity that I saw is that protein feels like a bro space.
Sure.
And Tuff Pops is not a bro brand. I trust that gym bros will find it, right?
Sure.
Because it has protein in it. So
Yeah.
they will find it because
Yeah.
that's what they're looking for. But protein does so much more than build muscle. It's so important to your body. It's like oxygen transport. It's hormone regulation. It's gene expression, right? Like it's these big things. And
Well, also it's becoming bigger in female nutrition.
For
as
sure.
Huge in
of
female
the
nutrition.
last 5 years,
Because
right?
of what you
Yes.
just said with hormones.
yeah, it's like
There's
this matters,
so many ties
right?
to eating more protein and getting your hormones regulated.
Absolutely.
And now creatine too, right? They're
Yeah,
finally
creatine.
like, oh,
Yeah,
creatine's
I
good.
take creatine. Yeah, and so
Creatine Pops is next.
yeah, creatine powder. Just throw it in there.
Ew.
But I do
I don't
feel
know if you
like
could ever make it taste good. Yeah.
Just
that's the
it's
worst.
just impossible.
Every time I
Creatine
take
would
creatine,
be
I feel
rough.
like I'm just taking dust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but I feel like that was the space that I saw where it felt like the brands that were focusing on women, I don't know, weren't very exciting to me. It's like, yeah, these are here. I know I can buy them. They're great. They're geared towards me, but it felt very bland.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on the other side, I mean, I go to the store and you see Bucked Up, and I know it's not for me. And no hate to Bucked Up,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I'm not their customer. You know, they're not. They're
Well,
not
they're
even
not
trying
advertising
to
it,
get
yeah.
me.
And
you know?
they wouldn't take offense to that because
Yeah,
of
they
that.
don't. They're
know
like,
that.
yeah, we know
Yeah,
you're not.
they know
You really
that.
aren't.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm kind of obsessed with this, the people who work out but not in a gym, and the people who care about their nutrition, but they're maybe you're not counting every macro. Maybe you are,
Yeah.
but you just want in general to be better. You know, and you don't want these certain ingredients, but you're not obsessing over
Yeah.
the fact that these have sugar. You know, they're a treat. It's
Yeah.
ice cream. And so for me, I felt like there was this space that has kind of been tapped into, but not in a very fun, energetic,
Sure.
exciting way.
Well,
I mean, I know that's my wife
oh, my wife will eat this up.
because she does all of her exercising at home,
Yeah.
and she does it every morning. Like she gets
Yeah.
up 6:30, she
You're
works
consistent.
out.
You're on it.
She has celiac,
Yeah.
so there's certain food restrictions,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, with that, and then, but she's not like a macro person.
Yeah.
Like she's not counting.
And there's this whole tier
Her
of people that
macros
care
and
about their
micros.
health without being extreme about it.
Yeah.
And I think that tier is kind of overlooked, right?
Yeah.
Where they're looking at certain things and they're like, that, I don't know what that supplement does. I don't, and I don't even have time to research it because I've got to be with
I've
my
got
kids.
a million things.
I have so many things to do.
But the thing I wanted to point out though, she's not a macro person, but I guess she is because she does count protein.
Yeah. Yeah. She wants to know.
Protein's the one thing she's like, I have to get
I have to get enough.
X amount of protein in a day, or else I
Absolutely.
feel miserable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and she also is always craving, I just want a little more sweet at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the perfect for me. Yeah.
You're in a real, I love the spot right now. Like I've been thinking about protein CPG companies outside of protein powders.
Yeah.
Because it's having such a moment with, I'm seeing protein cereals,
pretzels,
that are,
popcorn.
Yeah, protein popcorn. Yeah, I got an ad for
Anything
protein
you can get
popcorn
it
the other day.
Yeah.
And then I saw your like LinkedIn thing, like protein pops. I'm like, okay, let's talk to this gal. And so, one, I think you're having a moment because I think you're seeing a lot of women who actually are starting to care a little bit more, like where you say, you used to have the extremists, the CrossFitters who are the macro counters.
Yes.
And now you're starting to have more women say, hey, I actually want to do that. Maybe not to the extreme.
Yeah.
But I think every woman, not everyone, but a lot of women are paying a little bit more attention to that.
100%.
My wife is there 100%. I bet she counts her macros at like 80%.
Yeah.
You know, she's not letting a cookie on a Sunday distract her.
Yes.
From accomplishing her macro goal.
Yes.
But she's also paying very, very close attention to
it.
And because of just the recent studies that have come out on how important things like creatine and things like protein are for women's health.
Yeah.
In general, I think protein has a moment. And then you also have this branding moment of right now in the popsicle-esque space, the ice cream-esque space, it's very colorful. It's very kid.
Yeah.
It's cows. It's
I wanted nostalgic,
bright colors.
right?
But you have the, like, I'm not a huge fan of this gal, but it was really smart. I don't know why I keep saying gal. Like I'm 80 years old
before.
These gals.
Yes, you are.
But there's the girl, the Call Her Daddy girl just came out with the Unwell brand.
Yeah.
And so you have this brand, this really like cool, different aesthetic that can stand out in those two doors that you have.
Absolutely.
For your branding that I've kind of seen. And so I think the moment's really cool. My question for you, you just came from 6 years or was it 8 years of D2C?
It was like almost 10 years by the time, because Corey stayed on for 2 more years.
That's right. That's right. So you a decade of D2C. Now I know you did retail. I know you had some stores, but my guess is,
we went to one of our stores once.
70% of your revenue probably came from online sales or more.
Yeah.
So you're moving to the exact opposite.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how you are going to get distribution and get awareness around this?
Okay.
What are you guys thinking?
So one of the things that's been so important to me is that I feel like when you're a second-time founder, there's this feeling that you can skip steps, right? Like we know how to do this. We'll just skip ahead. Sure. We have connections, which is tempting because you're like, we can just take some shortcuts.
Yep.
And the thing I've realized is that the most irreplaceable piece is having that brand story built out early. Like you can't, I think people skip it the second time around. Like they're just kind of like, let's just get going. And to me, what made Taft special was people were really on board with it. Like people were emotionally invested in the story of it beyond just shoes. We always said it was like we were a mental health company that sold shoes. Like we weren't, shoes wasn't what we cared about.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tuff Pops has a lot of heart. And I just want to build in a very fun way, right? Because I think Taft was more serious because it is mental health.
Sure.
And I do think trends have shifted to where maybe people don't want serious from brands anymore. Like they want a little bit of levity.
I think that started in 2020.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right? People are like, just give me some
super heavy in COVID.
Give me a little fun, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm calling the 2020s is the 1980s again.
Yeah.
Like people want fun.
Like pull me out. Like just give me something exciting.
Like the Game of Thrones era, like everything was just so dark and serious, like The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Like everything was just
give me Ted Lasso.
Give
me joy.
like Ted Lasso comes out and like people are like, oh,
we can.
That's the biggest show on TV now.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's what for me, Tuff Pops has this opportunity to be joyful, right? Like it's fun. Food should be fun. That's like, I believe in the power of food, but I also believe people can get too serious about it, right? Like this should be the best part of your day. Like this should be what you're looking forward to. This should be community. This should be joyful. But I do think not the overemphasis, but I think the big health shift has made food really serious. And I think we need to get back to where food feels fun. And so for me, what's exciting is at this beginning, as we have no D2C, like we can't ship anything. I'm calling it the summer of 24,000 pops. 24,000 pops was our minimum for our first run. And
nice.
We bought an ice cream truck and we're just going to sling pops locally and just like build this community as much as we can. Because I think no matter what you do, you need your local community to be on board with your brand. Like, don't underestimate the power of just Utah before you go anywhere else. And so I want to just like win at home first. And so that's
we've talked about this with Utah. So we haven't coined a real term yet. I called it the Pioneer Beltway.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's a good and bad thing. It's good because if you catch on
the Mormon movement,
the Mormon and Mormon adjacent communities, because they're all intertwined, right? Like it starts in the Relief Society room, and then like, you know, it just spreads.
Trickles.
But like you will kill it in this corridor of Utah, Idaho, and Arizona, and then, you know, the Orange County areas of California.
San Clemente.
Like San Clemente.
Yeah.
But then it's like you kind of have a misunderstanding of what your actual cost is for acquiring customers.
Absolutely.
Because like you're not accounting for this like organic movement.
Skewed. Yeah.
But for retail, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right? Because if you're in a store, like your cost per acquisition is just very different. Like you're not going to be tracking it the way you would for D2C.
Yes.
So it's if you can just get that momentum building and then really narrow down what your story is, you're not really thinking of it in this like confined, like what's my ROAS today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, right? Because that's where we came from, is like just watching the metrics and every day, and you're trying to adjust and do this and that. And for me, I think now I'm looking at it more holistically of just, I want to build this great brand story that can kind of carry over outside of Utah, but it can start here.
Sure.
But that there's some feeling behind the brand, right? Because my favorite food brands, I don't follow on Instagram.
Yeah.
But the heart is still there. Like I still grasp it. You
What
know,
are
like,
some of your favorite brands?
Okay, Olipop, and I mean, sorry to Poppy.
We're Olipop fans too. Those were four for $6.
He's an Olipop fan.
It's tough.
Those were four
that's
for
tough to
$6.
beat. No,
and
it's
so
tough
it's
to
like,
beat.
but
and I have nothing against
I'm going
Poppy.
Olipop.
I just love Olipop. Like the crisp apple is just top. I mean, I don't really drink soda at all.
Yeah.
Unless it's Olipop.
Crisp apple is your favorite?
Crisp apple.
Number 2 is what?
Strawberry vanilla.
Really?
Yeah. It surprises even
That's
me.
one of a kind.
We had a family Olipop taste test.
Yeah.
We bought all of them. So like I know this. Like we did this.
What's your kid's favorite?
Tropical Punch was the winner for
what?
Okay, but this
Not
is
cream soda?
like blind taste test, right? Like
Grape
we were
and tropical
surprised.
soda for my kids too.
So good.
Not cream
soda's
soda
great.
and root beer?
No, because the root beer is earthier, right, than a normal root beer.
Root beer is so good.
I think it tastes like a root beer, though.
I think it does, but I think my kids, it's like it's not A&W.
Yeah, the kids like
you know?
the kids like the fruitier stuff in my
Yes,
same thing with our kids. Yeah.
I guess my kids
they
have
like
never
the
had.
orange.
Yeah.
They like the orange a lot. They do like the strawberry vanilla
and
a
I
lot.
probably have kid taste buds because that's
I guess my kids have never had an A&W.
I say that as if my kids like drink a lot of root beer.
Big
But no,
A&W
if you know
fans.
what A&W tastes like,
Yeah, then they're like, this isn't root
I'm just
beer.
realizing like we've never they've had like homemade root beer and stuff,
Which
but,
is the
like,
best.
It is the best.
Yeah.
That is the best root
Yeah.
beer. But
I love Olipop.
Olipop's my favorite.
Olipop is so good.
just
I
love
love Soli. Have you guys had Soli? Like the Soli gummies or the Soli, like it's just the little like jerky strips of pineapple.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, Soli.
Yes.
The mango
So good.
guava
Right?
gummies.
I have 5 boxes in my drawer at any given time.
Oh, yeah, same
like
here.
Because when I first was getting into this, we're asking about like hurdle rates, right? Like what do we need to move in a store for it to be considered like we're doing a great job?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm like, I think I'm hitting people's hurdle rates for them, like on my own every week from multiple stores.
Yeah.
Solely being one of them. Like
Yeah.
we for sure hit their Harmon's hurdle rate every time we shop there. Like I'm like, it made me feel so proud. Like I was like, you are welcome.
know what's funny?
We're solely Olipop
don't-
just ingredients. Like
yes.
we just
I don't
So
know what
good.
those hurdle rates are exactly.
Low.
But I'm like a big weird drink guy.
Love
like
it.
I always have like a new weird drink.
he does.
Yeah, I'm a sucker
I
for those.
single-handedly create sales
No.
on products because like I'll buy something a lot consciously for like 2 weeks and then I'll stop. And then in like within
they're
a
restocking
week,
the store
it'll
for
be
you.
like 2 for whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and get it on
You're
sale.
gaming the system. Yeah.
So I do. It's something like with
believe
the
it.
drinks. It's something like 60 or something like that.
Yeah, Olipops right now aren't on sale. Have you noticed that? Like you can't get them on sale right now.
Yes.
And that's why I've moved over to Poppies because I'm like, I can't spend $250 when they're usually $160.
No, we're friends with the distributor, and for a while he would send us cases of them, and it was like, this is awesome.
They were sponsoring me for a little bit, and so they were sending me cases and cases. And
I'm
then
gonna
they got
put them in the background of Tuff
Then
Pops
this is if you're listening, I'm mad because they used to send me like, not crates, but I used to get 12 packs, boxes all the time, and
you'd always have one.
And then they got a new social media director, and now they don't think I'm as important as everyone else is, and so now I don't get them. So now we're drinking Poppies.
But really quick, talking about the story of Tuff Pops.
Yes.
This is, I want to transition this or segue the Olipop conversation because I think Olipops, I think Poppy's Dr. Pepper is the best, quote, soda, for sure. But I think Olipop's root beer and cream soda are the best root beer and cream soda options.
Yep.
But I don't really buy Olipop for me. I buy them for my kids.
Really?
Because I don't have to worry about a sugar crash.
Yeah, for sure.
So like when we go camping, I get Olipops for my kids because they get to have this like sugar experience.
Yeah. Yes.
Without me being like, okay, it's 8:00 and
what have we done? Yeah.
I'm going to be like just regretting this in 2 hours when they're still like freaking out on sugar. Yeah. So is there any angle with Tuff Pops of thinking about, hey, I know moms are thinking about this, but like sometimes it's really nice to give your kid a treat that you don't have to worry about the sugar spike.
Yeah.
And with protein in a popsicle, it's going to balance those insulin spikes, right?
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say is the biggest thing is just like we have sugar, but we have that protein to balance it out. And so when we have it, for me, if I were in a vacuum, the best use case is breakfast. Like as a mom, I'm grabbing one of those on the way out the door and I'm like, okay, this is 180 calories. This is 12 grams of protein. Like the macros aren't too different
from... Like the Tuff Pop.
Yeah, the Tuff Pop.
Totally.
Like
it's got 12 grams of protein.
12 grams of protein, yeah.
Wow.
And so the macros aren't too different from like when we were developing the recipes and they're telling us the nutrition labels and like this one has this much sugar, this one has this much that. I'm trying to figure out anything to reference it against because there's not other protein pops, right? And so I'm going and I'm looking at like this Cliff bar, that's an energy bar, and it's got like 12 grams of protein and 380 calories. And I'm like, okay, I mean, we're beating that, right? Like 380 calories, we're at 180, the perfect bars, same thing, really high calorie count, slightly more protein, but like very calorie rich. And at the end of the day, doesn't feel like dessert, which is like what I love about it. And so and then I'm looking at it compared to like my Greek yogurt or just my normal yogurt. And I'm like, not too far off. So like a very justifiable breakfast for me.
That is a really cool thought. We use we're huge Ninja Creamy people.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a weird thought though, because I've never considered popsicles in the morning, but
our kids eat ice cream for breakfast all the time.
But
donuts are way worse.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
You're going to tank so fast.
Totally.
Like give it at least some fats and protein to balance it out.
But what we'll do is we will make a strawberry just ingredients with fresh strawberries, and maybe we'll put like some graham cracker in it as a little sweet.
For breakfast?
For breakfast. And it'll have all of this protein in it.
That's not that far off from a smoothie either, is it?
No, exactly.
No, this is when you start looking at like the actual nutrition labels. I'm in love with that.
The Tuff Pops is awesome because it's grab and go.
Yes.
This is like, I got to make it the night before. Yeah. It's got to freeze. I got to remember.
It's a whole thing.
It is an experience. And so there's this grab and go piece.
Because I always have my yogurt in the car and then like I'm finding spoons under chairs, because
have you taste tested with the kids?
School. Sorry, say it again.
I'm assuming you have taste tested with your kids.
Kids love it. Yeah. That was like, it was tough because for a long time samples were so sparse that we were like, you can have like one spoonful of this, but like you can't.
It's like literally like a taste test.
Like
it's like literally here you go.
With a little kid.
But that was the first samples. They tried them and they were like, these are bad. I'm like, we know they're bad. Like that's like, there's kind of not supposed to be bad, but it's science, like they're like,
right.
They're like, tell us what's bad about them. The food scientists, I'm like, they're bad. And they're like, but what's bad? I'm like, they're gummy, they're chalky. And they're like, okay, this is good. Like, we know how to reverse gumminess. We know how to reverse chalkiness. And I'm like, well, start there. But our kids love them. When we had a cool, I guess I'll like not say names, but we went to the home of the president of a major grocer with our kids because we happened to be on a trip where they lived, happened to have a crazy connection. Overnighted some pops and like brought them to his house. And one of them we needed to test just to make sure it was not like nothing went wrong, right? Like no one had tested them. And
like,
so our kids.
We don't want to take out batch and it's like a bad batch.
Yeah,
for
right.
some reason,
And we like just gave it to, the person we most need to connect with. And so our kids are like fighting over it in the back seat. And we're like, you guys haven't ever really had Tuff Pops. Like they're like chocolatey faces, like dripping everywhere and like piranhas, right? Like I need some. So yes, kid approved. But I also wanted it to be very geared towards adults. Like, cause people's instinct is like, I need this for my kids. I'm like, you need this for you. Like, yeah, your kids will have it too. Yeah. Kids have a much lower protein threshold than adults. And so geared towards adults, flavors are for adults. We have cha-cha chai, creme brulee, double Dutch cocoa, right? Like they're not flavors that scream, give them to your kids.
Yeah.
But kids can have them
Chocolate,
and kids
vanilla.
love them. Yeah.
What I love about what you're doing here, like going back to the marketing side of things, is you guys, they bought this like I follow you guys on Instagram, and so they bought this like Meals on Wheels-esque
Schwan truck.
Yeah,
it's a retired Schwan truck, straight up.
You know what Schwan is?
I know what Schwan is.
Okay.
Like the yellow delivery trucks.
But yes,
we never had it, but my neighbors
but
did.
they drive by and you're like, who's getting
and
that?
there's like all these doors, that you can, so they bought one of those that they're like going to brand as like this Tuff Pop. So it's like, you're kind of like a food truck esque style. And I think you have because nobody's really doing that in the ice cream space. You know, you've seen cereal do it, but you have this cool opportunity to create a really cool organic social media strategy that can be super, super fun. And I think if you guys utilize documenting what you're doing, I hope you've been filming and doing some stuff and start putting that kind of stuff out. And then you can probably start to create some really cool hype around where you're going to be.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to be in Highland for the day. Hey, we're up in Kaysville.
Totally. And that's what I'm hoping,
Do you have any ideas like that you guys have fleshed out?
Because we talked about like, old school ice cream truck style, like rolling up to, like you roll up to Podium though, but like you roll up to roll up to Business Park at lunch and you play the song and it's like, is that like what I think it is? Like if people can come to expect it, I think it'd be so fun. But I also really just want to do like, I love like a real grassroots movement. Like for me, it's really important to have that brand story in the beginning. And so we're literally going to like take orders from family and friends and drop them off on their porch. Right. Like, and the ice cream truck is for that too, like kind of building this, I don't know. It's the thing that's so fun is anytime we talk to anybody about the ice cream truck, like grown men's faces are like an ice cream truck, like you can't help it. Like
I'm telling you right now, your social media, if you do this right organically, you guys will explode. I promise you, if you do this correctly, because of everything you're saying, like the more we're talking, the more my wheels are turning.
And when he says correctly, that doesn't mean like you can't have some fall downs, right?
No, but I mean,
but if you figure it out,
what I mean by correctly nowadays, is what I don't mean is let me get a professional camera taking a really good, beautiful shot of our truck.
Absolutely,
that's what I mean by don't.
Totally.
It's the experience of like I'm just picturing Corey in like an old school milkman.
No, that was the first thing we looked up. Like I was like, I'm buying you white coveralls. We're gonna get you a hat. Like you're gonna have an apron.
He's driving, and I'm picturing music, and I'm picturing
take it
like
easy though. You're gonna have like
I'm picturing like people like walking up, like, what do you sell? And he's like ice cream, and he pups up, like,
but with protein in it, so you don't have to feel bad.
That is huge.
Yes.
That is so exciting.
Have you guys? Can I throw out an idea?
Love ideas
for you guys.
Yeah,
and I hope you do it.
Tell me.
Maybe it's not good though. I love all of that.
Probably good.
But combine that with like the juxtaposition that it's like for adults. Right? Like that's the ice cream truck for adults. And so like you go to a soccer game on Saturday morning where all the adults are on the sideline and then you basically go over to the adult like with the thing
tray,
like, hey, try this.
Yeah.
Because I bet you could get viral content just from people trying it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you need to try stuff.
Like Corey in the outfit, but going and like, hey, we're the ice cream truck for adults. Like, and then you go over to the adults.
Oh, it'd be so fun.
Because they're all sitting there anyway.
Yeah, they're all there.
Telling you,
they're all there.
The number one hire is a documenter. I'm telling you right now, and you guys will absolutely crush it. I thought
adults would love it at their soccer games, just sitting there, because they're all just sitting there for like an hour.
Dude,
absolutely.
I think you take it a little bit further. Okay, let's keep the juxtaposition concept here. Sorry, this is like not even.
I love this. I mean, I should be paying.
Well, and in fact, kids don't even know what an ice cream truck is anymore.
Love it.
Well,
it's only adults that even have nostalgia.
It's true. They have no nostalgia.
The imagery is a kid driving the truck. That
is funny.
And the imagery are the kids are the workers
yeah, and the adults are
handing it to the adults. Like that is the true juxtaposition.
That would be funny videos
versus Corey being
so
that,
great.
or you
I
being
love
that person. Like that would be incredible. Like that's your campaign.
No,
right?
I love it, and I think there is just this built-in nostalgia that we're trying to tap into, right? Like when we first started working with our food scientists, the lady who's the head of the team is like the most intimidating person I think I've ever had a call with. Like I was like shaking the whole time. Like Corey and I are just like, she's
the head of the food scientist team.
Yeah, she's like, and we haven't talked to her since, right? But she's the one who decides if you're gonna make the cut and they're gonna develop your recipe or not. And we're just like, gosh, she is terrifying, but so cool. But the thing she told us is she's like, you're in a good industry because research has shown that no matter how bad the ice cream is, people like it just because it's ice cream. Like that's how nostalgic ice cream is that you could be eating the worst ice cream
and they'll still eat it.
It's so nostalgic that you'd be like, but it's ice cream, you know, like it's just like so. And so I feel like there's that.
You know what though? The cold, the temperature of the flavors makes it more bearable.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Because it's not, it's just like
it kind of numbs your tongue
after the first
few
bites.
So like even if the ice cream isn't great, like people will still eat it and be like, oh, that was good.
I feel like that's how people were with Halo. Halo was not that good, but
it was just like
blew up because of it, because it was healthier.
Exactly, it's cold.
Yeah, and it was
cold.
No,
yeah.
So like the nostalgia of the texture and the flavor, and then also like it gets better over time because your tongue kind of goes numb.
We developed a banana split flavor because did you guys have Dippin' Dots banana split when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Like we're not making it because by the time you add in all the ingredients, it's so expensive. But it was that. But like just that experience of like going to a baseball game and getting the Dippin' Dots and basically like drinking it to the last drop, and it tastes just like that. The food scientists had never had Dippin' Dots like ever, and I was like, ever? Like no Dippin' Dots? Like did you go to baseball games? Like were you a child ever?
Yeah.
So.
Every parent knows how painful it is buying Dippin' Dots.
Oh my gosh, $7 for
Dots.
It's like
go to a Jazz game, get some Dippin' Dots, and
it's like just go to McDonald's after if we're gonna.
Well, this is awesome. I think this is so cool. I think I mean, one thing I want to pull out of this before we kind of come to a close here is, I feel like sometimes in these podcast episodes we always end in a spot like this, which is the businesses that are going to do the best in 2025 and beyond are businesses that are thinking about doing things differently. Absolutely. Now that's kind of always been a true statement, if I can say that. It's never
been truer than now, though.
But it's never been truer than now because everyone can do everything, you know? Yeah. And it's so hard. If you're going to be a jewelry company, it's so hard to stand out, right? The earrings you're wearing could be Tiffany's or Amazon.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just so challenging. And so for you, you're thinking about things differently. We're bringing back the nostalgic ice cream truck. You know, I'm making popsicles healthy. Yeah. You're seeing ice cream healthy right now, healthier.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jenny's fan.
Oh, love Jenny's.
Is there anything better than their
Jenny's
butter? Is it butter cake? I think.
Oh my gosh,
I can't remember which one.
I get the peaches and buttermilk
the almond
biscuits.
brittle
Oh my gosh.
Kenzie likes the almond brittle.
So good.
I get the butter. What am I?
My wife, it's butter cake.
Is it butter cake?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
so
like,
good.
There's nothing
it's
better
like ooey gooey butter cake.
Ooey gooey, yes.
My wife says the almond brittle is too much of a grandpa ice cream.
Oh.
Kenzie likes the almond brittle. I don't mind it. I'm not a huge ice cream
I think
guy.
it's phenomenal.
But I think you're just, I love that's the message I think you have to get out of this is like, you got to just be willing to put in the extra time to do things differently. And I think so often we get so caught up in, oh, look what Olipop's doing. Let me do what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's great to look at them from an inspiration perspective, but then you have to flip it and say, what am I going to do to stand out from them?
And to that point, I think that was one of our, as we were kind of talking with some videographers trying to figure out what we're going to do. And they were showing us what they had done, because that's the natural thing is to be like, here's what we have done. And Corey and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, we just have to push it. And we can take risks that bigger brands can't take, which is the magic of being scrappy. Oh. Like Taft, we took a lot of risks like our store got broken into and we had an ad running of it by the end of the day.
It was the best ad I ever saw.
It was a really good ad.
You want to know what though? You guys, I think, posted that and I think you posted it organically first.
Yeah, we did.
And this was my in my mind, I told myself, they ran that as an ad because of me, because I commented, said, this needs to be an ad ASAP.
Yeah, but as soon as it got broken into, I mean, it was, I'll tell you it's you. But Corey, the first thing Corey said is, this is going to make a great ad. Which is just Corey. Like the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Of just like our store just got broken into, and we're not even like worried about the glass door. We're not worried about the stolen inventory. Like they left the iPad in the cash drawer, like, right? Like this is insane. They just took shoes. Like we were like, this is the best ad ever. Like they just stole shoes. Like that's all they wanted. Like, and so I think for us though, there's always like the adapt or fail mentality, but also I think people can take bigger risks than they think they can take. Like I think you 100%. Can push it further than you think you can push it. I think like the quirky, weird things that brands do is what makes me remember them, right? Like
totally.
Like there's so much noise now that I think to your point, it's like you can't. It's like trying to sing at like a concert that's blaringly loud.
You got to
like
zag
maybe
when
you don't
everyone's
sing,
zigging,
maybe you do something else. Yeah.
Yeah, learn how to dance.
Gotta learn how to dance.
Totally.
Get on stage and do something else.
I love it. Well, this is awesome. I'm so pumped for you guys.
Thank you.
When are you guys launching? You guys have an idea?
mean, like now. Like it's literally we're waiting on the final word from our co-packer to be like, we're gonna run it this weekend, which could be this weekend or next weekend. So we're just.
And then how long will it take for you guys to then say?
I mean, if you're in Utah, just start looking for our ice cream truck as soon as we have product. But it's just beyond that, distribution, UNFI, KHE.
Where can people find Tuff? Do you guys have an Instagram account set up yet?
We have Tuff Protein.
Okay.
There's nothing on it.
Okay.
But you can follow Tuff Protein. I think we have 300 followers and 0 posts. But you can go there.
Hey, that's good.
We'll start posting.
I'm excited to see the ice cream truck content.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
me too.
I am too.
I'm just excited for our kids because I'm like, you're going to grow up with an ice cream truck in the driveway. Yeah. Like, is there anything better?
Exciting.
That's the best.
You need to come into Draper, into this office space. There's a lot of offices here.
We will.
I can't wait to hear the music. Up. We got a big window. We'll see you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mal. This is awesome.
Me.
This has been super fun. What a fun conversation. And so go find Tuff Protein. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. Please go rate and subscribe the podcast, whether it's good or bad. We want to hear from you because we always want to make this podcast better. If you want to get in touch with me or give me any direct feedback, please go follow me and get in touch with me. I am at the Trevor Crump on both Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, and we will see you next week.